Hello, ladies and germs. Welcome back to the North American Challenger Series Playoffs Quarterfinals. It's time for Game 2 in this best-of-3 between VVV Gaming and Curse Academy. Now, with one more victory, CA will advance to the semifinals and move within one series of a trip to the Summer Promotion Tournament.
Yeah, and that game started out well for VVV, but Curse Academy turned a couple catches into a Baron and won. And that win means CA have now won 3 in a row versus VVV. And Mashpee came up big for his team, 3-0-0, with the most CS in the game at 337. Coming up big there, catching Pekin Woof off, and then being like, oh, let's go get Baron, turning the game around there.
Yep.
That was VVV, it looked like from start to almost finish, and Curse Academy picked up the ball when they dropped it.
Yeah.
So battle between Rhux and Cris in the top lane was also something we want to keep an eye on. And Rhux went 2-2-4 with 335 CS, and Cris went 1-1-1 with 296. It's a little bit of an edge there for Rhux.
Yeah.
And coming up big for his team there, pulling a lot of attention, and despite not having teleport.
That's a big one for me, is he went all in for lane bully. He's like, I'm Renekton, I am pulling Ignite, and Rhux was the one forcing the issue. And that is, I feel like, so difficult to play around, where you're like, not only are we behind, but we do not have the map mobility that VVV has. Curse Academy still were able to force the issue, never give up too much. The one that I really point to, and this is so smart, I love that Curse Academy went for this. VVV was like, we got this dragon.
Yeah.
Guarantee we got this dragon. And Curse Academy says, okay, we'll push mid and top. They got 2 turrets for the dragon, disengaged successfully, and was like, great, we came out ahead, and you had the mobility advantage.
Yeah, and you always talk about hemorrhaging, too. You're just like, oh, they hemorrhaged off more gold. It just gave up more. And Curse Academy, they kept taking things in response. They're like, okay, we had about 1 or 2 bad picks in the early game.
Yeah.
Let's just keep tabs on things. And then in the late game, it paid off because Mashpee was right up there with everybody else in gold, coming up big for his team, making some picks for himself, and then they turned that into a victory.
Yeah.
Which is huge. Just for, like, if you would just pause that game at 15 minutes or something like that, it would have been like, okay, there's a gold team here, and VVV, they have a good team comp. I think this will scale really well as well. They have Lulu, they have Shyvana, who is legendary for outscaling Renekton, and is why she's played for the most part.
Yeah.
Because Renekton's so popular. But Rhux didn't let that affect him at all.
That never paid off.
No, it did not. We basically didn't see that come to fruition. And it's like, oh, Shyvana versus Renekton, and Renekton's still bullying Shyvana by that 24-minute mark.
Yeah, impressive play. Went all the way to the Ravenous Hydra as well. I often see, like, they'll stop at Tiamat and then get tanked so they can get into team fights properly.
That's not Rhux.
That was not important for Rhux.
No.
Finish the Hydra, bully your opponent, lifesteal up in the battles. There are a couple of fun fights as well. I liked the Rhux versus Tails fight, where Rhux, like, exactly properly identified how much damage he could take. Like, I think he knew that Tails was barrier baiting him, because once he flashed out, he was like, you still have barrier. Yep. If I fight you, I'll lose. Turns away, 50 health, survives with the ulti. Also dodges the Pekin Woof rotation. That was cool.
That was cute.
I like that.
Pekin Woof just zipping up to the top lane. And there was a pink ward in that bush, too. So Rhux knew that if he went that way, he wouldn't have been seen by anything.
Yeah. Smart heads-up play with these guys. And so now the one thing I want to see different from VVV is a different top lane matchup. I thought, okay, sure, right, they gave him Lulu. Pekin Woof obviously had a good champion here, but, like, you win a lane against Lucian, Annie with a Morgana, like, to me, that just speaks to, like, an incredibly skilled dual lane for VVV. I think they're fine kind of no matter what you do. I think VVV needs to set Cris up for success.
Yeah.
And give him something either that's going to be lane bully, so he can either pick Renekton or pick a counter pick to Renekton, as opposed to, like, a just wait and out scale. I think you use that skill that he has and let him bully out.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too. I want to think back to the champion select of Game 1, because we're about to see Game 2s. Game 1... what they ended up doing, I know that was really good. That was awesome. That was not planned, by the way. I had no angels telling me things that time in my ear, just sweet nothings. So what ended up happening was they first picked the Nidalee, and then it was Lulu and not Lulu. It was Lulu and Evelynn. That was first picked on the side of VVV.
Yes.
They locked in the Evelynn, and that was like, we have no hard engage versus your Nidalee.
Yeah.
Which is a huge red flag. Because if you're going to first pick that, you already saw the Nidalee pick coming out, so it wasn't a surprise. So you pick a soft engage jungler.
Yeah.
That should have been something like a Pantheon or a Vi if you wanted to even get on Mashpee.
Yeah. So. Or at least, like, support Leona. And I know that's not, like, a big pick for him, but, like, when the Anna got taken, I mean, Thresh, I believe, was still available, and Leona is just something that I feel like I think support should learn that champion so you have a different type of champ to bring in the role. Even if it's not your best, know I get enough to bring it confidently in a match, I think, is an important thing for aspiring pros. Yeah. Just to have the types of champs available that if you need that strategic niche, you have it at least in the pool.
Yeah, and just having more options available to you that do different things. Like if you're a mid laner, you're like, I want something that pokes, I want something that assassinates,
want at least one,
and wave clears. So you have all these options, and then you can have diverse team compositions.
Yeah. We'll see what happens here.
Hopefully going to shape up a little differently for both of these teams.
Yeah. We'll see what comes through. Ziggs, the first ban here. Curse Academy last time. Ziggs, Gragas, and LeBlanc were their 3 bans. I think they might change one for Nidalee, maybe Lulu. We'll see what they do with this one. Lee Sin, Kayle, I believe, repeated bans here for VVV as well. So far as the bans are concerned, no one making any major differences. Nidalee is added to the ban list, I should say. I know you mentioned that LeBlanc probably shouldn't belong there. We'll see if that's the case.
Yeah, I really thought that was a questionable ban by Curse Academy because there was just so much open there, and they were first pick. So it's like, why'd you ban LeBlanc? Could have banned Nidalee, could have banned Lulu, and then like if you ban Nidalee, you force them to ban Lulu, and then they ended up being able to ban Kayle, which is Duocek's champion that last time just schooled them on. Did so much damage on that champion, and since Pekin Woof was on one of his B tiers, he wasn't as effective, especially against that A tier from Duocek.
Yeah. So what happens in this one. Kha'Zix, I believe, also a repeated ban here for VVV, so nothing new for these guys. They'll rely on their first pick if they want to deny anything else from the lineups. Curse Academy taking their time with their bans. Not 100% sure in what they're going to be doing, but they wait till the last second, and they do add Lulu. So Gragas and LeBlanc available since last time. See what Cris picks up for the team. Now, Pekin Woof, of course, knows with 2 champs available, he gets everyone he wants. Now, maybe he's actually more confident in his LeBlanc than we've been giving him credit for, but it's the hover right now.
Well, he might be confident in it. I'm not confident in his LeBlanc.
Hey, we'll see.
That's just me. I mean, he could possibly blow my socks off, but last time I was a little underwhelmed at that.
Sure.
His LeBlanc was not up to par with his Nidalee. That's always banned out against him.
Yeah.
And Ziggs as well. We want to get those champions away from him. And so once again, he's on LeBlanc. They forfeit the Gragas. And it's funny because the Gragas is actually a flex pick too if they had picked it. Cris plays that in the top lane, and Pekin Woof plays that in the mid. So even if they left LeBlanc up, they could have gone with like a Gragas LeBlanc composition. Yeah. Or they could have just had the Gragas be like, okay, we're okay with that. It's fine. But I mean, they could still do it because no mid laner was locked in here for Curse Academy. Now they go with the safe picks.
Exactly. Well, they go for the same comp they had last time, actually. They're letting Rhux lane bully. Ignite Renekton went well. Mashme's Lucian lost lane early on, still scaled back up, had a good performance in team fights. You saw him actually dueling Pekin Woof later on in the game as well. So they say, hey, let's keep picking up what worked for us. VVV gonna make their different choices. I think I agree with this one here, looking at Pantheon. A bit more ability to start fights, because if you trust the team to get ahead early, just add the ability to end the game, and then you're in a really good place as a team.
Yeah, because normally you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, and you're like, okay, the game will come to us. And it did come to them.
Yeah, in the wrong way.
Defeat.
Or second place.
Second place. But of course, if you get second place here, you go home.
Yeah.
You don't move on.
It's true.
So, second place to the LCS. And go back to Challenger.
There you go. Let's see what happens. Caitlyn, the hover right here. Pantheon as well. So Kate does come through for Tails. He did have a pretty good performance on that champion. Unfortunately, couldn't put it together too much for the team. But PorpoisePopz now is going to play Pantheon instead of the Evelynn. We'll see how much his ganks, how much his engages will work for the team.
Yeah, and I like that pick a lot more than the Evelynn on multiple accounts. You have hard CC, you're able to engage, you have a lot of damage that you bring to the table too. So I like that. I just think it's a game too late at this point, especially since they haven't shown what type of mid laner they're bringing for Curse Academy or their jungler. It's a very early pick here. And okay.
Well, you know, Curse Academy are the ones who are going to want the Evelynn on this one. Thresh also comes through for Kabigon. So they've blind picked their top laner, but they're going to save their mid for last, even though they know that VVV is going for LeBlanc here, which means they want to see the rest of the comp. They want to hide what their composition does as well. It's not about the matchup, it's about the team play of the mid laner here for Curse Academy.
Yeah, and see how that synergized with the rest of it. And so when they picked Caitlyn, they already saw Lucian locked in. So they didn't go on opt to pick up their support early. They wanted to see what Curse Academy brought so that they could counter it. Now that they have Thresh, it'd be great to lock in something like Morgana, who hard counters Thresh in every regard of that champion.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in this one. Of course, Xiaomei Mei did play Morg last time. We'll see if he goes back to it. However, Tails right now is on Riven for Cris. I know we said he's pretty synonymous with that champion. A great player overall. Riven Renekton is an interesting matchup. When you traditionally say it goes slightly in Renekton's favor, but you can outplay it. The lock-in does come through. Cris will get Riven here, of course. When you send all your Vans to the mid lane, it means the rest of your players get whatever they want. So there's the lineup here. VVV a lot more engaged and better matchups in a lot of places.
This is going to have to pay off, too, for Cris. It's a very risky matchup here. And I have to say, Ryze is still open. He's still open through all of this. And people regard Ryze as one of the best counters to Renekton in the top lane. You can keep him down and give him a really bad time. Doesn't opt to go for the Riven, who's an in-your-face pick, and has to duel Renekton and trade very effectively with him early.
Yeah.
Because if you lose one of those trades, you have to wait for your cooldowns, try to re-engage, and then hope it goes differently the next time. Basically, it's insanity over and over again until you come out on top, or you get a gank. And with Pantheon, it's very, very possible, and with the assistance in the lockup.
Absolutely, but keep in mind, Evelynn's also waiting in the wings there for Pat in the jungle. So also both these top laners think they're going Ignite in the matchup, so they're like, forget the team, I'm going to exert dominance in this lane. It's going to be a fun top lane. I'm looking forward to it, actually.
They're trying to roast each other.
Yeah.
Cut them up, serve them for dinner.
Crocodile shoes.
And then...
I don't know if there's really anything edible from Riven. Just eat the blade.
Yeah.
Like Renekton would be hardcore enough to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, he would. He's the butcher of the sands.
There you go.
Chop her up, serve her up.
With her own sword. Man, this is cruel. Orianna the pickup here for Duocek. Why not? I figured it makes sense there. It's like Orianna, though, puts it in, helping the team engage. Also a great defensive option as well. But I think it's a nice, well-rounded pickup here.
A couple submarine balls going in there. Throw it onto Pat. See if you can go ahead and get a lockup.
Yeah.
You can also slow everybody with the Agony's Embrace, and then go ahead and use the Shockwave right on top of them when you close the distance.
Yeah.
So a lot of theoretical things coming out here. Put a box around them, too. Just gift wrap them for everybody.
Yeah, it is one thing to point out, actually, you know, the gift wrap and all that, because Curse Academy doesn't have a true dedicated hard engage. No. There's not a Leona, there's not an Annie, they're missing that element from last time, which can be a real detriment to the lineup. But at the same time, they have, I think, enough soft engages that it will eventually pan out, right? Evelynn flank into Shockwave. Thresh comes into the box, puts him in gift wrap, Shockwave again, right? There's, I think, enough ways to set up the eventual fight that I think it still works, but it does have to be tested a bit. There's a Morgana on the other side, which can make it worse.
It's a lot of soft engages that come together to form this hard engage. You just pack them on top of each other, enough soft things, it becomes really dense and hard.
It'll eventually become a diamond of engagement.
Your engage is a diamond.
There you go.
There you go.
Tarek is pleased. We're going to see if they can make it happen. VVV vs. Curse Academy, Game 2, hitting the rift. And we'll see if the lineup changes and champion changes make much of a difference here. Cris on Riven, PorpoisePopz on Pantheon, Pekin Woof on LeBlanc that got banned away last time. Curse Academy picking a couple of champions that they weren't allowed to pick up a little while ago.
Now the early ward start here from Xiaomei. See what he does with it. See a lot of people opting for that when they go ahead and get the gold generation item early on. And it also typically means that they're going to place it somewhere and then go counter-invade the other side so they know they're okay. But it looks like it's just going to be a device to help them with their actual invasion.
Well, Mashmi saw the invade, though. Both these guys know.
Kabigon saw the ward go down, too. They're pinging it.
Oh, interesting.
Saw the animation from the Fog of War.
Yeah.
The little light.
As long as you can see where the ward is going, pretty much, you'll know that it went down there. So, a lot of information here. Doran's shield start for Kabigon versus the Spell Thief's Edge here for Xiaomei. Would give a 2-on-1 lead to VVV, though slight, if they wanted it. Does not seem to be the case here. Cris is going to recall. Riven will be heads up 1v1 versus Rhux. Both games here, the team's going into 2v2 matchups.
I don't know. We see Kabigon and Mashmi rotating top. Rhux is still in that pile of people.
No, they're going to separate it out. Curse Academy.
Why not 2-on-1 the Riven?
Okay. That's interesting because here's the thought, though, right? Is you opened Doran's shield and opted a 2v1. So unless Curse Academy thought VVV was going for it and tried to mind game it and failed, it's very weird to start Doran's shield in this situation.
Yeah. And now Cris doesn't see this invasion. So... he had an itching. He sees it.
Okay, so he knows about this, which means we should have a pretty safe buff trade here. PorpoisePopz will just go for the enemy blue buff, though he gets very little of a leash here, meaning he'll take some damage on his way on this one. But
here's the thing, too, is that Cris immediately goes to the lane, while Rhux is going to go ahead and farm the jungle in the meantime.
Yeah.
So Cris is missing out on some experience if he gets bullied. There's a Thresh who can always hook him in and make him take a ton of damage. And the fact that he started Blade means he isn't going to have that passive regen just from sitting around with the shield.
We'll see if this pays off for him or not. Rhux is actually going to come down and take a look over the blue buff steal, though I think there's a very low chance of success. He's going to just check, see what goes on. Puts the trinket ward down. It's going to help him get the timer. And they'll know if VVV leaves one of the little minis there. Pat with blue buff will be safe to take the lizard camp down, though. So level 3 now on the junglers on both sides. And I do want to watch Pekin Woof versus Duocek here, because I know we said that Pekin Woof did not have a good game on LeBlanc last time, but the fact that it's drawing bans and he's still picking it means they believe in it.
Yeah.
Both teams do, actually.
And first picking it, too. Make sure that he's comfortable on that. And I hope he's good on it. That's the thing. I'm always up for great games.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to see if they picked the best possible one here. Cris already going back. He got 3 CS, so he's even with Rhux.
All right, here we go. It's going to be the bottom turret going down right here. 5:27 in the game. A bit slower here for Curse Academy, but they should still be able to take it down. And we've seen teams get a full turret lead over the start of the game just by doing better pushing right here. Top lane turret finally goes down. The early recall from Kabigon. It looks like Curse Academy does not want much more than this. Looks like they're going to try to reset these lanes if they can, or at least defend with Thresh.
Cris still off on the side. Hasn't cleared any of the jungle. And now he's trying to absorb experience, and man, just being a top laner is just always brutal in 2-on-2s. 2-on-1s. Yeah,
well, Rhux actually going to basically chill here on the 3-on-1, taking a bit of harass, but really not losing too much. You got to wonder, like, Cris is leeching enough XP. He's hit level 2 now that the enemy lane is backed off, but he could have tried to 4-on-1 that lane, for example, get the second turret down. But he was just kind of allocated nowhere.
They were trying to get around to the bad side of Pekin Woof there. 3 men strong in the middle. Waiting for him to use his distortion to try and clear the wave. But he's like, I know this game. I know this game. He's not going to let it happen.
No engage going to be found just yet. Pat with the red buff looking to flank around Curse Academy.
Oh, he's going to meet PorpoisePopz, though.
Okay, the ward gets with position. I don't think he saw Evelynn directly, though.
Where did that come from? Just popped out of air.
The sky. The
Grand
summoner
Skyfall
himself.
Ward.
Grand wardfall?
Just a
ward drop? Maybe. That'd be a great ultimate. I guess it's called
anywhere on the map?
I guess it's called Clairvoyance or Blue Trinket.
I was going to say Scrying Orb.
Feral Flare.
I'm glad you said it was great.
Yeah, there you go. Pantheon's ultimate is now Blue Trinket. Deal with it.
Or you can just get a Blue Trinket and have 2.
Oh my gosh, that's just broken. And he could bring Clairvoyance? St. Vicious would. There's actually a fun tweet from St. Vicious with the early trinket changes. He's like, man, I have to bring CV to keep my jungle safe. I might as well just drop Smite. I'm not using it anyway. That was great.
Oh wow.
He knows his own. joke.
He's just owning up to it.
Yeah, it's fair.
So now we see PorpoisePopz coming in on the side of Duocek right here. He gets
a good one. Stun lands, forces the flash. Heartseeker Strike. I don't know if it works against robots, but it still deals some damage.
Robots, they probably have some type of gearbox or some central processing.
Central processing strike. There it is. Should rename it depending on who he's fighting against. Taisl is just chilling here with the Caitlyn. Early Berserker's Greaves. 30 CS. Actually, Mashed Me walked all the way across the map. Didn't even recall. Just showed up to the bottom lane. 39 CS to 31. See if that works well against Tails. Pat looking for the gank on Cris.
I think Cris is in a much better situation here. 31 to 10. 2 levels up over Rhux.
Yeah, well, they can't dive him. Like, they can't dive into Cris because the minions would kill him. But at the same time, Rhux has a bunch of XP waiting for him.
PorpoisePopz is off on the side, and if they get overly aggressive...
No, Pat was defense.
Yeah.
PorpoisePopz looking to dive, and it was 5v3 in levels. And Pat was like, hold on a second.
Oh, they ping him out. Oh.
Cris, yeah. They reveal him in this one, but Rhux really clearing the wave pretty successfully. Though I gotta say, Cris froze the top lane long enough. He's 35 to 19 in minions. It's a big gold lead.
Still some minion wave available to him. Oh, the lantern comes down. They're going on
Kabigon.
Oh, there.
Duocek was just chilling and killing minions instead, though. Pat shows up there to push down into PorpoisePopz. Here comes a shockwave. Flash is going to dodge. Duocek does not have a flash this time. If PorpoisePopz can put the damage down, but he's only level 4. There's damage coming through. He will fall down. First blood, the Duocek. Pekin Woof now forced to dodge away as well. Curse Academy with the start.
Duocek didn't take the lantern. He didn't have a whole bunch of mana at his disposal.
Yeah.
And if he had been coming from the same angle as everybody else, they could just flash away.
Yeah.
And get the distance. So instead, Goes for the pincer maneuver.
It was the correct play. He made it work. Cris actually getting pushed around a little bit. Pat coming down around the angle.
Oh, the blue's up. And that's where he wants to go.
Puts the ward down. Misses the brush. Dude, I've seen a lot of wards miss the brush this series, but Pat probably in decent shape with this one. Actually in a good angle to have his Q kill all of the little monsters there. And smites away. Hits level 6 with a blue buff steal. Curse Academy looking so much better this game.
No top turret here either, and they're 3-man strong. Oh, the hook!
Great hook onto Cris, the stun as well. Down he goes. Kabigon with the kill secure for the team. It's going to work out nicely. Now PorpoisePopz getting his own red buff, but 2 levels behind Pat is not good.
No, he ended up getting killed. Didn't get much for his efforts, and the CS is in the lead too. And Duocek eating some chains.
Some good damage, honestly. Pekin Woof with the 2 chains, actually. He mimicked it. Put out some damage onto him, but look at this. Top lane, very much under fire. No response, no rebuttal whatsoever for VVV. Looks like it's going to be 2 turrets to 1 in the early game, unless Cris can do something special. Not going to be the case. Top laner support jungler. Cross-team synergy right there.
It would have to have been something really special he could pull out. Just Cris.
Suddenly level 18, one-shots everybody.
Somehow.
Quadruples his level. Hits the button. So, that's going to be going down, but the harass coming in from Pekin Woof off the shield. Pat coming in from the wings. No ulti for him, but Dragon is going down. VVV do answer that on the other side of the map. That's going to give them a bit of experience back. PorpoisePopz hit most of a level off that Dragon kill, so.
He's going to need 1 more before he can start making that pressure on the map, which is really their boon right now. They need that Grand Skyfall. They need to have it in crucial lanes. But right now, Curse Academy all grouped up, 4 men strong in the mid.
Ooh, hook does not quite land right there. Pekin Woof's going to be safe on this one, but he still can't do anything but watch from the distance. Curse Academy just deciding to push, making the rotations happen. And VVV, honestly, they're showing up a bit late. They're losing so much turret damage. And this time they didn't answer with the Dragon. They just lost turret health.
There's a rotation. They're lower in HP. Also the fact that Duocek, even if Cris had come in from the side like that, I was actually surprised at how scared they were. Because Shockwave was up, they could have put Cris in a very bad position. And they don't go for it. They go for the just back off and play this out. And, oh, Pat's caught! And Riven's gonna chunk him!
Big damage comes out. Doesn't even need to ult. Cris with a nice play right there, the invasion. Pantheon ult as well towards the mid lane. Binding lands. Duocek. Shockwave on the 2, but here comes Cris. Has the ulti. Double kill for Riven.
That's Chris's Riven. Right there. Basically in a nutshell. I'm going to invade the very squishy jungler. He's got no defensive items. Great. That's what I want to take off. And now they're going to get 2 and a turret. Absolutely great right here. No dragons in this game. The one in the jungle is dead. And no one picked it in Champion Select. Mid lane turret going to be going down. Pantheon making things happen this time around. Chevy May forced a little bit back. Mashby forced to flash. Chain was almost there to pick him up right here. It's going to be the disengage. VVV back in this game. 700 gold puts them ahead here. They've equalized the total number of turrets. And now they get the blue buff. Theirs was stolen away previously. Oh, the hook and the nothing. Oh, Cris actually... No, he didn't. Never mind. He got that off Evelynn. PorpoisePopz smites it away. I believe it's actually him carrying it in this one. This was like one of those trick smites where someone else gets it. It'd actually be good to have it on Pantheon. Yeah, Grand Skyfall cooldown. Also, the fact that he'll be just spamming his spells so much and hasn't completed his Lizard Elder just yet. I think he will off of this recall. Yeah, once he recalls, he will be able to have it, or as it stands right now. True. He's actually missing out on money by not completing the item yet. Yeah, that's also something too, is when you people have the Lizard Elder, if you counter jungle and take the big creeps, you're actually taking more gold away from the person. Yeah, if they can't cash in conservation stacks, they just get sadder and sadder here. See what else he can do. Wow, Mashby shot that second bullet behind his back. That was sweet. You see that? Lucian's arm just like, ugh. Made it happen. That's kind of the point of that champion. How is that possible? You just gotta move. You gotta twist. Oh, Cris stuck at a 1v2. No flash, nowhere to go. The ultis pop right there by Pat and Rhux, and down he goes. He used too many broken wings to clear the wave, and they got him on the very last one, and Rhux was able to close the distance. Yeah. No flash used either. Yep. That guy's dead. He's gonna have to come back up into the mix. I believe he was still, I think he might have been still wearing the blue buff actually when he did go down. Pat might have been able to get that one back. Have to check to make sure. Yep, that's buffs back on jungle, Pat. Pekin Woof finding a bit of harass. PorpoisePopz is nearby. He's gonna get the kill. Got flash too. The root, the stun, the damage, nowhere for Pat to go. They give the kill to Pekin Woof. Buffs transfer for the 3rd time now. That blue's getting all the love. Yep. Everybody gets a piece of the pie, just going all around the map. Flash was still available for PorpoisePopz. He has backed, he has completed his Elder Lizard, and he's about to have Grand Skyfall back up for another play. Ooh, this is going to be fun to watch. Can PorpoisePopz
get anything out of this one. Of course, mid lane turret is dead. Top lane is available. It's going to be Cris pushing towards it right now. And I got to point out, Tiamat done for the Riven versus parts of a Sunfire Cape for Rhux. I feel like as far as a power spike is concerned, Cris should be in good shape here.
This is something interesting too, is that typically when you see Rhux on every champion I've seen him play in the Challenger Series, he will go for an offensive item first. This is one of the first times I've seen him go defensive right off the bat.
Yeah.
Not going for a Tiamat, not going for a Trinity Force.
He's afraid of the battle against Cris. Cris will land a bit of a stun, but the Lantern is there for Rhux. Puts some damage down, hops on out. Heartseeker Strike not battering too much. Pekin Woof on top of a ward. Looks like Curse Academy won't overextend. Knowing this, Hook comes out, does land. Good read by Kabigon. Flash is going to get him away from the box in this one. No gift wrap this time.
Nope. Just some nice little chuckles there as he walks away.
I don't think those are nice chuckles.
It's a cackle.
Those are very evil chuckles.
Those aren't the chuckles that people give you when they're happy?
No. Yeah. I mean, he might be happy he's killing someone, but not happy with me.
All right, well, PorpoisePopz. Happy with the Wraith.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's happy with his legs too. He's gonna go jump.
Jump into the air. Rhux trying to get away from this one. Stunned up near the turret. PorpoisePopz in range. Finds it. Ulti from Rhux. Cris forced to disengage though, and here comes Pat.
Predator.
Pat has ulti. Rhux puts a stun down. Cris trying to dash away. Ulti comes out. Looks like the last charge of the ulti not going to get used because he just doesn't need it. Nice slice in by Rhux. One hit to go. The stun from PorpoisePopz. And they chase down on a Pantheon. Will he give the life for the team?
Cris
will go down.
Took the long way around. Oh.
The dodge. The third Q over the turret. Nice.
Gives you a little extra boost.
Nice play by Cris to get out. PorpoisePopz.
They're a little far up now, and now they have Pekin Woof and Xiaomei closing in on them.
All right, well, Rhux, he's going to get silenced, meaning that it's going to be a little bit easier to land the rest of this one. Gets the burst down. Black Shield prevents the stun. Pekin Woof gets the kill, but at the same time, they left the mid lane open to Curse Academy. Mid lane outer turret goes down, making it 4-4 in kills, 4-4 in dragons, and the same gold for both, or 4-4 in turrets, same gold both teams.
4-4 in dragons, yeah.
I think 1-1 in
turrets.
dragons. Maybe 1-0.
Yeah, they're very close all throughout, but there's another dragon coming up in 6 seconds here, and nobody's in position to get to it right now. Grand Skyfall not on the field for PorpoisePopz, so he doesn't have that engagement tool available. Cris clearing out the mid lane, has his defensive boots now, and then he's going straight back to offense. All he needs.
Yep, I think it's the right choice, though. He knows he's going to be battling Renekton 1v1, and he'll be diving Mash Me in team fights. Itemizes around that. Damage comes in towards the dragon. Culling comes through. VVV used it to help him kill it faster. And, okay, he smites it properly. That was close.
Uh-oh.
All right, no flash for Pantheon. He's going to jump and go for the battle. The team comes in as well. Do they have what it takes? Cris, no ulti. Hook on a Xiaomei. He's going to be going down. Pekin Woof to have the dashes. PorpoisePopz pretty well screwed. 2 kills come in for Curse Academy as payment for the dragon.
And it's even gold again.
Yep.
PorpoisePopz got really low, sat there and said, I'll back. Nobody find me. Just nobody find me. And then Pekin Woof brings them back to him.
Well, he had nowhere to go.
He's a good friend.
It's not his fault. PorpoisePopz multiple times now taken one for the team. His last 2 deaths are in place of someone else.
Just gives them his life. My life for my teammates. It's a great jungler, great support motto, too.
It's the way of the porpoise.
The porpoise motto?
Yep. My life for the team. He's the pops. He's the dad.
He's the pops? Aw, protecting his babies.
Exactly. Protecting his porpoise babies here on VVV.
I always thought it was like a cereal, like PorpoisePopz.
No. I mean, at least it'd be a popsicle, but I think it's the daddy porpoise.
Porpoise popsicle?
Yeah. That was how I always thought of it, but I'd rather it be the daddy porpoise. I think it's just cooler. Ironically, popsicles would be cooler, but you know what I'm saying. Tails! He's got Zergrees, he's got a dagger, moving on to the game.
Okay.
Forget that I made that terrible joke. Just kidding, it was amazing. Tails, Xiaomei, same build actually on Morgana. He really likes this one. Also still rushes the Kindle Gem. So, wasn't an accident, on purpose, wants the CDR and health. All right.
There's still very good abilities to have on a small Morgana. You're going to be taking a brunt of the damage when you're running into Soul Shackle. Want the cooldown reduction so you can throw up Dark Bindings more often. Yeah. Hopefully hit them, sometimes miss them more often.
He's had a lot of them, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still impressed by his play. I'm going to say that. I think that pickup for VVV was smart. We'll see if he can keep the pressure going, though. A small gold deficit, but they can, of course, bring it back. We'll see how their shot calling goes in the mid game as they clear away these minions.
And Pat's been playing the Evelynn very, very well. He's actually put on a clinic compared to how PorpoisePopz was playing it last game.
Yeah.
The early game aggression that he's brought to the table and the rotations that he has. Because Evelynn isn't a very good duelist at all. She's more reliant on the fact that you can't see her and she appears out of nowhere. That is the basis of her kit, is the surprise factor.
Yeah.
So he's been using that to his advantage. He's 3-2 and 3. He's been involved in every kill on the map for his team. And now in the mid lane, they tried to push up, but it's always just this early on in the game, you should create some area so that Pantheon can skyfall into the back line. You don't want to skyfall into a turret either.
No.
So I assume they're going to go back, going to go ahead, get their items, then create vision and create an engage, because that's what this team has from VVV over Curse Academy. They have the engage power and the burst potential from Riven and LeBlanc. Or you can pick somebody off with the Morgana. I mean, there's always lots of options here. Curse Academies, though, are a little limited. They're the team fight, shockwave, and the split push.
See what they can do with this one. Looks like the catch's going to be on a Kabigon, though. He goes down with the box. Not doing too much. Tails and Mashme in a bit of a battle here up in the upper jungle.
So a little faster than I thought it would be. The Grand Skyfall already came out. And up top, oh, Evelynn's here too, Cris.
Cris will do what he can. Ulti is available. Flashes back. Binding won't quite land. There's a bit of damage coming across, though. The root onto Rhux is Renekton. The push still going in. They look for Pat there. The knockup is there. Good damage coming through. Cris ulti should come out soon. More damage comes in. Kate ulti blocked by Rhux. 2 kills. VVV catching back up.
Now looks like they're going to back instead of push the issue with the Baron. No real objectives available on the outskirts for them. Still locked up at 4-4 in turrets, 6-6 in kills. A little bit of a gold advantage here for VVV, which is just from mostly the farm of Tails, but that's making up for the farm of Pekin Woof. So, I actually think it's mostly from Xiao Mei Mei having the gold generation item early on. I think that's actually where most of the gold's coming from. And a little bit of the assists. Yeah,
he's getting a good bit of money overall. We'll see what else these guys can do to pay off their debts. VVV are 500 up. Tails. Dagger into pickaxe. Interesting. We'll see if he goes last whisper, if it's just for the gold, or just for the damage before he finishes things like Phantom Dancer. But he's getting a lot of the side lane farm right here. I know last time Mashme got a whole bunch of farm on the sides and caught up. Cris, though, speaking of catching up, finds Kabigon again. Flayed, not going to stop much. The flash stun comes in as well. Big amount of burst, but here comes the Evelynn. Here comes Mashme. PorpoisePopz bit off more than he can chew. Goes down 1, 4, and 3. Bit too aggressive.
And Cris backed off of that one. Did not have his Blade of the Exile available, so no Wind Slash coming out for the execute. Overextension, great follow-up. Kabigon throws out the hook very calmly. And the flash from PorpoisePopz, I didn't know if he had to use it to get over the wall.
He did.
Wanted to close the distance.
Yeah.
Very aggressive play. Didn't have the burst available to him that he thought he did.
I think he wanted a catch before Kabigon flashed.
Yeah.
I thought if we could burst him out, he'll just die, but unfortunately did not quite have the damage they wanted. Kabigon survived, as we saw. You see the rest of the match play out right now. These guys are trading kills back and forth, 6-7 here. But the point I was saying earlier about Mashme is, last game he got a lot of side lane farm and just got a gigantic minion lead, eventually the highest in the game, actually. But right now, Tails is actually still above Mashme in CS. Right? He's still staying up there. The kills go to Mashme's favor, putting him in a good gold position, but as far as minions go, we'll see. Ward comes out. VVV.
Skyfall available. He's going to go.
See what he looks for. Goes on towards the backside. Kabigon has nowhere to go. Pekin Woof explodes the man with that fire grab. Here comes the jump in. Pat looking for PorpoisePopz again. He goes down time and again. This poor Pantheon falling over.
That poor PorpoisePopz.
Yep. Poor PorpoisePopz.
Okay.
Attempt to steal a Pekin Woof. Okay, jumps back in time. I was afraid for a second. Blue buff also for Curse Academy, plus the dragon off the jungler kill. This is nice for these guys, but Cris is not done. He wants to push the mid lane up, push the top lane up, maybe even steal a red buff.
Yeah, it'd be great if he steals the red buff away. It'll stop it from going over to Mashme. That's going to be his main objective. Then he'll go clear that wave top. Then they can possibly apply some pressure. But right now, they're just concerned with taking these objectives away.
That was actually really smart by Cris. He knew he had very little time to steal that. He just, okay, they're at dragon, they'll go for their buffs. Popped ulti in order to steal it, and it's the only reason he actually got out in time. That's a really smart move.
Otherwise,
to know the timings on that.
Would have been a little too late.
He would have pulled a double lift.
Red buff,
Worth it. Yeah.
It's worth the game. At least I had that red buff around me for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Got transferred over, but that's not the issue.
Doesn't matter.
I got it. It's about sending a message.
You got the bling. Sent the message. Not a big deal. Regular SMS rates do apply, but you know what? It's okay. As long as they received it. 600 gold. Spending Curse Academy had these guys trading very small leads back and forth. Duocek, 159 minions on Orianna. 1 completed item so far, going towards, I'm guessing, Death Cap second. DFG soon avoids Steph for Pekin Woof. He is going to be very good at destroying frontliners. There is not much MR on Rhux right now.
Yeah, he's mostly itemized to go up against Cris and attempt to split push still. He has another Giant's Belt for himself. It'll be a Warden's Mail after the Merc Treads, I assume. And then he'll start building some MR. But in the meantime, we're going to have to see, can he get burst down by Pekin Woof?
It's going to be the thing to watch for.
DFG still available, 401 for Pekin Woof.
Gotta say, he's answered that question pretty well.
Yeah.
LeBlanc's working for him.
Yeah, it is. It's working for him right now. I want to see how aggressive he gets with it. And how often he can blow up the squishy. They don't have a frontliner. PorpoisePopz is pretty far from that right now.
Yeah.
Cris, he's going to be diving in no matter what. He's not really a frontliner. He's just like an aggressive all-in.
Yeah. I mean, he's in the front line.
He's not going to be soaking anything.
He's not a tank.
Yes, he's not soaking anything.
He's going to be up there somewhere.
And if it is, he's soaking in his enemy's tears because he's just completely obliterating them.
Yep. Speaking of obliteration,
whew, that wave.
Goodbye minions, WR, and down they go. Pekin Woof
made those minions disappear. It's a magic trick.
Block the illusionist.
The deceiver. They aren't really gone. They're just turned into gold.
They're actually nice. He also knows alchemy. That's wonderful.
You can't create gold.
It's a heavily skilled. I mean, it just happened. Tails, mash me in a battle, pass the round. Binding's going to land. This is not necessarily great for Pat. Has a lantern to go to, though. And an Orianna for defense. Pekin Woof, though, on the side lane split push. No one is answering this. 4 attacks till the turret goes down.
And I like the wall that VVV has created with their members to guard Pekin Woof's retreat.
That's good. When you push, you have to push everywhere. If you don't have complete vision coverage, VVV making that happen. And, to be fair, had wards watching the rotations towards him. A very safe split push there that did pay off. 5 to 4 in turrets. Close to 1,000 gold, putting VVV back ahead here. And the Void Staff now completed for Pekin Woof.
I have a feeling that this game is just going to get to that point where somebody has that team fight where 4 people die and it's just like, just one missed position. And the other team's good enough to take advantage of that, whether it's Curse Academy or VVV. So VVV has the burst potential, Curse Academy has that team fight.
Let's see if they can get it with this one. Rhux going to kill it with the double golems, getting himself a little bit more money. 0, 1, and 5 on Renekton. There for the team. All his kills have been with his teammates. Let's see if he can keep playing the tank role here. Cris, of course, on Riven, making a little bit more individual plays, but having kind of a similar performance. Has a couple of deaths, a couple of kills.
And at the same time, he's actually going for that Black Cleaver immediately after finishing the Brutalizer, so he can shred through that extra armor that Rhux has.
Yeah.
He's counter-building the counter-build.
Yeah, trying as hard as he can to remove frontliners here. And honestly, it's a bunch of heavy offense.
Oh, it's what you have to do.
Sure.
They have a frontliner, a tank, and you don't. You just have to build more damage and get through it as fast as possible. So it's like, look at that. You don't have a tank either.
Yeah.
And even if you trade 1 for 1, I would still give a little bit of an edge here to VVV in like small skirmishes. If it's a 5-man just group up team fight, then Curse Academy, Shockwave is just too good of an ability.
Yeah, they've got Shockwave, they got the box, they've got Agony's Embrace from Evelynn. There's so many good AoE abilities here. You're right, VVV are very individualistic. They're gonna look for these sideways engages, the split pushes, the catches.
The tiny power plays from each of them.
Yeah, and keep in mind, VVV, they're the team that have ward control. There are no wards at all on the bottom side of the map. The VVV are stretching wards in. Tails, the blade comes out, gets away from the box though, gets completely out of that one.
It's a great binding again from Zhao Mei Mei. Must be so frustrating to play against him.
Yeah, but he's doing such a good job. The Aegis, the opening start once again for this Morgana, going for the teamwork.
Oh, they're gonna get mash.
He's gonna go over towards the left, gonna look towards Kabigon. Lantern comes out, doesn't matter, but Kabigon gets rooted in place. But he's gonna be safe. VVV do not keep going in this one. They do have a bit of an inside track towards the mid lane. Cris has to flash the Shockwave, does just barely.
And the Agony's Embrace.
Yes, that's 2 ultis down. Actually, the only ult up for Curse Academy right now is Renekton's, whereas VVV has, looks like 3 of theirs. Is that going to matter enough for this fight right here? They hold on to an 800 gold lead. They're still the aggressive team, sweeping away wards, getting rid of the pinks, putting wards down. These guys own the upper jungle.
Yeah, so the Grand Skyfall from PorpoisePopz was really good considering it got the flash from MashMe and gave them a positional advantage because he didn't die after. It wasn't like a huge misplay or misposition on his part. And then they just converged, and now they're going to go after this top turret. And Curse Academy, they have to play the next team fight very, very carefully. No flash, missing a lot of ultimates.
See what they can find right here. The dissonance comes out, kills the minions away. Hook onto Pantheon, not where PorpoisePopz wants to be, has to dash away. Chain comes in, not going to complete onto Rhux right here. Big minion wave towards the bottom side is pushing in towards VVV. PorpoisePopz low, he might have to back out. Looks like that is the case.
And Dragon's up. If PorpoisePopz backs, that's where they have to head immediately. And Cris, I think he might actually try to head his way over there first, place his ward on his way to that bottom to just clear it out. Because they have to try and beat Curse Academy there if they want to even like try to contest it.
Well, Pekin Woof still on the retreat away. All of Curse Academy making their way down, but Taisl is pushing the top side right here. VVV playing the map, saying, you take Dragon, we'll take something else. Cris takes all the farm in the bottom lane. He's going to get a bunch of golden experience. Turret traded for Dragon right here. These teams still neck and neck. 800 gold game.
Just look at Tail's farm. On that pace for 10 at a minute, giving him that solo farm we talked about. It's a conscious decision at this point in the game. Who's going to split push? Who's going to get a lot of that farm? And it's Cris and Tails. Those ADCs, those damage dealers to turrets, looking for it. Pekin Woof was off on the side, and he just had like a thing of opportunity where he's like, I'm going to get it down because I can. And look at that red pot for Cris, just trying to increase his burst damage in the early game and get down Duocek. Kill MashMe, but first you have to get through Rhux.
Yeah.
It's who you have to answer to before you get to that back line.
We'll see what kind of things these guys from VVV can do.
But let's flip it over to Curse Academy for a second. Once again, MashMe 3-0-1 now. So he's having a very similar game and performance to what he had last time. Very, very consistent, not giving up deaths. If they're behind, he's like, okay, I'm just going to be a rock for my team in this bottom lane. I'm going to keep my farm up and not give up any kills, get assists, be relevant in these fights, so that in the late game, I'm not just a pushover. I'm not just a paper doll, and I actually hit people hard.
Well, yeah, and speaking of hitting people hard, he's got a little bit to go till Last Whisper, meaning that PorpoisePopz, who's finished the round with Omen, and even a little bit of Cris with the Ninja Tabby, going to be just a bit tanky in this matchup.
There's rotational error here from VVV that Curse Academy is exploiting.
Yeah, they're going to move in towards the mid lane here. They're going to have the members available, all 5.
Is Cris going to go straight for the back line? It's a very risky play, especially since that pink ward sees him out.
He's going to get... Didn't go through the brush enough. He's going to actually look for the bottom. He pings it.
They know it, though.
He just wants to split. So the 4 versus 5. Can Curse Academy get the siege in? Tails, the only wave clear here for the team. I don't know if it's going to be enough. The push comes through. This is going to be a dead turret. Rhux goes for the engage. Can't quite find the engage, or at least the stun, but the turret does go down.
Here's the thing. Cris got nothing for that. He got maybe 4 minions, and they got a turret on Curse Academy side. And here comes the engage. Cris is not there. Xiaomei going for the engage.
They're going to try Xiaomei exploding quickly before the stun can come through. It's going to be the fight, though. 1 dead already, and hip turret gone as well. Tails trying to run, takes the entire culling, and does go down. VVV 2-man shockwave hits Cris and PorpoisePopz. Distortion slowing them down. Another kill picked up. Pantheon goes. Pekin Woof stunned up. Goes down as well. 4 kills Curse Academy.
And there's only Cris left, and this could be the game here for Curse Academy. Cris tries to clear out the wave in a desperation move. Now there isn't any minions here. There's just that one.
A single one is going to remove the backdoor bonus. They get turret number 1. They go for turret number 2. Duocek forced towards the back. Ignite comes out. Cris tries to find the kills to save the game. 1 hit till he kills Pat. Won't quite land it. The Dark Binding. The Ignite. 2 kills so far. VVV. Can they hold on to the base? Looks like Curse Academy forced to run, but Xiaomei, he's not done. Looks for the Binding. Can't quite find it. Still on the chase, though.
Trap.
He's got boots of swiftness. It's not going to be enough to chase them down, though. VVV hold on to the game.
Just a huge positional error there by VVV in the overall that caused that. Cris, off on the side, gets like 4 minions. He pushes up the wave. No tower for that. They give up tier 2, inhibitor tower, inhibitor itself, Nexus turret. Ridiculous trade-off there for Curse Academy, and great on them to realize their potential in that fight and what they could do. And now VVV, they look like they're going to go for this Baron. No TP on Cris. Cris is about to be up, and they're setting up for it. Can Curse Academy get there?
Let's see what they do. VVV pick up home guard boots onto Cris. He'll get there as fast as he can. Baron down below half HP. Here comes Mashme. Here comes Rhux. No jungler available for Curse Academy. They're trying to burn it down. Can VVV destroy it in time? Still losing health. Baron does go down. Shockwave hits Tails. Tails flashes the wall. He's still alive. Down goes PorpoisePopz. In comes Cris into the fight. Gigantic AoE picks up 2. He's going to take down Rhux as well. VVV might just hold on to this game. Now Pat and Kabigon are around taking damage. Tails helps clean up. 4 kills VVV.
And their base is taking a little bit of damage right now from super minions. It goes down. Somebody has to defend that Nexus now.
Only the Nexus holds them on right here, but the new minion wave shows up. Kabigon gonna land a bit of a hook there, dodges the binding from Xiaomei. So Cris defends the base. The rest of VVV go to the bottom lane. They've got 15 seconds to try to push this in.
And now Cris, Xiaomei gonna try to clear this out. I think they can get about 1 turret off of this, and they have to back. We're gonna look at this again. They're just stalling here. Baron goes down before Pat's even in range. The Shockwave only hits Tails. He flashes over the wall to get out, and here comes Cris. They're all grouped up right in that nice little spot. Flashes in, uses all of his abilities. The Wind Slash creates so much havoc, and then Rhux is just in a bad spot at that point. They take everybody off the field. That is the stacking damage that Cris has been going for all game long.
And they do get the inhibitor turret in the bottom lane for that, so Curse Academy a little overextended there for the game-ending push. Xiaomei and Cris together kept their base alive and then made the plays in the Baron fight. Tails, though, still on the run. Mashme does have the culling. Will he put the damage in towards Tails? Another distortion. Jumps forward, lands a bit more damage, puts the W in. He's going to haste up with this one. Has to dodge away from Dark Binding. But Tails, one hit from dead, is going to survive it.
There was just one right there that was chasing him.
Oh my gosh.
90 caliber net.
Well, the ulti blocked by Mashme's face. Not maybe the ideal target, but he's life-stealing back up. The bottom lane push now still here. Tails, of course, does not have a health bar. They're going to do what they can to push this one in. Bottom lane second-tier turret does go down. Curse Academy back within 500 gold.
And VVV still has the lead despite being down an inhibitor and both Nexus turrets. We're going to look at that again. Look at it, just boom. As he 90 caliber nets, there's one trailing him. Ah!
Those last
it was so
two
close.
Right in front of his face, blinding his sight, but not quite hitting him.
Oh, it was...
Man.
Just he saw that bullet disappear like inches from his nose.
That's what happens in the Matrix when Neo's just like, no. And the bullets all like stop in midair. Picks one up, examines it, and says, nope. Tails is Neo, confirmed. He is...
That make a mash
the one.
Mashme. Well, I mean, there is a Morpheus skin for Lucian.
Okay, then he's Morpheus. No, he's Agent Smith.
No, he can be Morpheus. He was just training him.
No. Okay. Okay.
He's like, I know Kung Fu.
Yes, he does. He downloaded it. That's how the Matrix works. Mashme gets himself the red buff. This one not stolen away by Cris. You know, if he had red buff, Mashme would have killed him.
Yes.
Just saying.
100%. Guaranteed.
It's okay, though. Here we go. 500 gold game. VVV's Nexus has no turrets. Their middle inhibitor, of course, also has no turrets.
They're forced to fight.
Are forced to defend. Curse Academy, if they win a fight, it's over.
Yeah. It's either way, I assume, right now. If anybody aces the other, that's game.
Well, we'll see. It depends on minion waves, I think, for VVV.
Oh, here comes the engage. It's a good Grand Skyfall.
Who's he going to find? Jumps in, the box is there. Shockwave lands on a 2. This could be it. Who's going to win this fight? Mashme low. Dies the backside. 2 kills so far. VVV pushing. They find Kabigon. 3 for 1.
Pekin with flashes.
Pat and Duocek. Duocek silenced up. Ignite on from Pekin. Woof. The barrier. The chains are there. Duocek is going to go down. Only Pat is alive. Here comes the push for VVV. They've got 30 seconds.
He's going to try to backdoor this. Pat is looking to at least get the inhibitor, but there's no turrets either. If he gets the inhib fast enough, he can go straight onto the Nexus.
We'll see what they do. 20 seconds for the revives. Bottom lane is the siege. Gigantic minion wave here for VVV, meaning they could push the Nexus down. 10 seconds on Thresh. Here comes the push on the inhibitor, making very slow work. Turret number 1 under fire. Pekin Woof taking some of the damage. PorpoisePopz helping as well. Turret number 1 is dead. They need Evelynn back in this fight very soon. Here comes Thresh. He's alive. Pat going too slowly. The Nexus under fire. Here comes the damage. Tails is trying. Gets hooked up. Has the barrier. The Nexus down to half HP. Damage still coming through. Tails is dead. The push in. All the damage comes through. Xiaomei does not deal enough damage. Pantheon's dead. Caitlyn's dead. Xiaomei can't do enough. LeBlanc dies as well. The flash hook is blocked by a black shield, but an 800 100 health. Nexus stands alive. The kills for everybody. Only Cris remains in this fight. He's chasing out Pat. Will get the kill here, but now he's stuck defending a Nexus against 4.
And there's no turrets at all. Curse Academy come up right in time to defend that. VVV in a desperation move, go for it, but they can't pull it off. And now here comes the push from Curse Academy to end the game. What can Cris do?
Well, he's got the same situation. There are no Nexus turrets and the inhibitor. The Nexus down to 1,500 health, but he can't kill it in time, and he knows it. Kabigon, can he flash play? Can he hook? He stops the recall. No one's here to defend the base. 2 seconds on Pantheon. In comes Curse Academy, and 37.5 minutes in, they take the Nexus down. Crazy end of the game, but 2-0 in the quarterfinal.
And now VVV have to go home after that one.
Oh my gosh.
Rethinking. LeBlanc was a really good pick there from Pekin. If I do owe him a little bit of an apology on that one. He had a great showing on that. So, been stepping up his game since last I saw it. And now, Curse Academy, they move on.
Yeah.
That was huge. That was just explosive, just back and forth there. Just head to head all game long. And just, if you're looking for entertainment value, you didn't go home disappointed.
There you go, guys. Tell your friends, tell your family, post it everywhere. Wow. Watch that game. That is a mental game right there. That is hard to play properly. And I was like, oh man, did the Evelynn mid push, was that what's going to lose Curse Academy the game? Because you saw how close the fight was for the Nexus, right? Under 900 health for the Nexus, meaning if that fight went slightly worse for CA, Nexus was gone. Meaning that if that was the case, if Pat was there, they would have won it for sure. But he gambled on the push. That did pay off. He pulled attention from Cris at the end of it all.
They go straight for Tails too. Basically, when all of Curse Academy revives, it's like the gates opening. It's like, go!
Kill the Caitlyn.
Yeah, they're like, get him! Black Shield goes on to Tails immediately.
Yeah.
I think he still had Flash available to him. And just got burst up. Rhux is like, not in my house. Not in Rhux City.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know if someone sold an item for Home Guard. That'd be the ideal. If you're like, you needed it that badly. Like sell Aranduins.
Well, you might as well sell your entire inventory if it's going to help you out in that last moment, because those were the last moments of the game. Yeah. Gold doesn't mean anything after that if you lose.
Well, it worked out. Curse Academy, incredible stuff right there. Guys, now that all the quarterfinals are in our match history, let's check out the brackets after that ridiculous Game 2 finish. Thanks to their win, Curse Academy becomes the 4th and final team to qualify for the semifinals and keep their LCS hopes alive, as the top 3 teams will advance to the summer promotion tournament.
And next Saturday, LMQ will take on Curse Academy, while Cloud9 Tempest will face off against Complexity Black, with a trip to the Challenger Finals on the line.
Even though the LCS will be dark next week, the North American Challenger Series semifinals will begin next Saturday, April 12th at noon Pacific, 9 p.m. Central European Time. And coming up tomorrow, the North American LCS closes out the spring split regular season with 5 more games. The day kicks off with Dignitas fighting for the 4th seed when they take on Counterlogic Gaming.
And the day finishes with XDG and EG battling to avoid LMQ in the summer promotion tournament. The action begins Sunday at noon Pacific, 9 p.m. Central European Summertime.
And with that, our time together has come to a close. But before we go, I want to say thanks again to our friends at Coca-Cola. Now for myself, Zyrene, and the entire live broadcast crew, good night, GG. We'll see you tomorrow.